address that was held at the University of Professional Studies in Accra. The party, through its chairman, Stephen Ntim, says the NDC's address was a deliberate attempt at misinforming the public on the country's economy. According to him, the NPP-led government has diligently managed the economy.
Ghana's economy was the toast of the world until COVID-19. Before 2020, Ghana was hailed among the fastest growing economies in the world. But COVID-19 disrupted the growth momentum of the economy, and later the Russian-Ukraine war also came on board. As a result of these factors, our economy, which was among the fastest growing economies in the world, started to accelerate in 2020, and the government has committed everything in its toolkit to regenerate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the ravaging impact of COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war on the global economy are visible all around us. But somehow, the NDC has refused to acknowledge nor admit this fact, to continue misinforming Ghanaians that this government has mismanaged our economy.
So that's Stephen Ntim. As to whether or not the Ghanaian population have been misinformed or lied to by the NDC, I'm sure the verdict is out there for all of us to see and know and feel. Let's talk about what's been happening beyond the press conference. Judith Awachitanda is my colleague who sat through that presser. She's joined us for a quick, whatever else was said at the press conference. Judith, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Beyond the, the chorus of Russia, Ukraine being the reason and the COVID-19, what else did the NPP say at the presser?
You can hear me. Yes, they once again spoke about the Russia-Ukraine war. Mainly, that was one.
Judith, we seem to have lost the connection to Judith Awachitanda, who sat through the NPP press conference, and it's becoming very monotonous, or the same chorus of it being Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19. So they just ended a press conference where they give specific dates of what events will be happening regarding their primaries, the election of party representatives that will be wanting to go to Parliament on the ticket of the NPP, when the flag bearer race will also be held, and then when they are also looking at holding the constituency level elections. We seem to have lost that connection to Judith Awachitanda, who was just giving us other information that was shared by the party chairman, Stephen Ntim, at a presser that ended a few minutes ago. When we do get that connection, we'll be bringing it to you. But our website and our social media handles have been following all these discussions, and you can also be a part of the conversation. We'll be happy to hear what you also think about the government, the party, the politics, the opposition, and how collectively as a nation we are building the Ghana that we are in at the moment. Away from that, or still on politics though, the Memphis Central Constituency Chairman of the NDC, that's the National Democratic Congress, Raphael Ando, says that one of the aspirants in his constituency, Joanna Jan Kujo, is not qualified to contest there. Joanna Jan Kujo happens to be one of the contenders among the 5 aspirants tipped by supporters to win. Pa Kojo Peters has more in this report.
According to the chairman, even though Joanna Jan Kujo hails from Memphis Central, she does not vote in the constituency. He also alleges that the candidates hold 2 party cards, one from Bantama in the Ashanti region and the other from Memphis Central, which is against the party's rules and regulations.
Joanna Jan Kujo no, or buy any documents you actually say, from Memphis Central, but one drop or NDC member or Bantama. I have to go there and verify.
Her documents show that she doesn't vote in Memphis Central, even though she hails from the place. The woman holds 2 party cards, one from Bantama in the Ashanti region and the other from Memphis Central, which is against the party's rules and regulations.
Membership ID.
The party secretary in Memphis Central, Richmond Daleke, also indicate they cannot authenticate her membership in the party.
Constituency executives are supposed to protect the seat. in protecting the seat, we need to make sure that whichever candidate the delegate will elect will be a credible one, who has no questionable character, who can be presented to the general masses so that the person can win the seat for us. So it is the responsibility of the constituency executives to make sure that that election is done and done well, so that we can elect a credible candidate for the constituency.
The Bantama chairman of the party, David Kwesi Hereji, who was invited to testify about the candidate, also said she was unknown to them.
Maminu ye nimu no Bantama da. Even a kwa ni di efa so e register no kwa e forgery. Register no kwa no eti baby. Eti ba ku om. Ehwehwe mu no me ba ye friend Sherita Mensa. Ni number aye voter party card number no. E na omudi ama mami no.
We don't know the woman. It is strange how her name entered our register.
ID no, and I'm much mami ni di wo baby a me ba no wo. E na o ma push me ba no down. In this case, I will just appeal to the people in Accra, the national executives. If the case comes before them, they should look for the truth. Once they look for the truth, the party will grow.
But supporters of the candidate, who happens to be a renowned businesswoman and the CEO of Golden Empire, were charged at the premises of the vetting together with the candidate, who were hopeful things will go in their favor.
All right, so we are staying on politics because, as I mentioned earlier, there were other issues that were raised by the NPP's national chairman, Stephen Ntim. And let's see if we have, hopefully, a better connection to Judith Awachitanda. Judith, what else did they say? All right, so before we come back to Judith, who is at the NPP program, let's stay on the issues of NDC and talk to Stanley Niblewu, who is following the vetting that is currently ongoing in different parts of the country. So vetting in the Greater Accra region has entered its second day today. 37 aspirants from 10 constituencies have been scheduled to be vetted today. Stanley Niblewu is my colleague who is currently at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the NDC for updates. Stanley, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. How many aspirants have been vetted so far, and what else can you report?
Okay, so Martin, today 10 constituencies have been scheduled to appear before the vetting committee. And so Okowo constituency took their turn, and they just finished. 5 aspirants filed to actually contest for the seat or the slot in the NDC from Kowo, and I can confirm that all the 5 have been vetted and approved. So they are going to go and slug it out at the parliamentary primaries during the contest. So after the Kowo constituency, Kole Klote, which is also made up of 3 aspirants, the incumbent MP, Dr. Zenato Rollins, and then 2 others are also going to appear before the vetting committee to go on. Later in the day, another constituency, which is the Ayawaso West Wogan constituency, which was supposed to have its turn at the vetting committee, was postponed. So they are also likely, after the 10 constituencies have been vetted, they are likely to also appear before the vetting committee to also be vetted. And so today, that is what is happening here.
Right. And Stanley, do we know how many more are expected? You say 10. How many have gone through? How many are expected? And what's the general atmosphere like? We saw a few of the videos you sent earlier. It looks a bit charged, isn't it?
So for how many more to go? 9 more constituencies to be vetted. So when Ayawaso West Wogon is added to it, then it will go back to the 10 constituencies. So in all, when Ayawaso West Wogon is able to make it to the vetting committee, it is going to be 11 constituencies that are going to appear before the vetting committee. But when you talk about the atmosphere, I can tell you that the atmosphere is highly charged because each and every aspirant, when they were coming from their various constituencies, they came with their supporters, and the supporters have been cheering them on since morning. For the supporters, what they expect is that they want their aspirant to be approved, so that the party will give each and every aspirant who has filed to contest in these parliamentary primaries a level playing ground, so that they all can, whoever emerges the winner at the primary, would actually lead the constituency or become the face of the constituency going into the 2024 elections.
Okay, thank you. Right. Stanley Niblewu, thank you for that update from the NDC vetting, which is currently ongoing at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the party, and definitely updates of that will be in our subsequent bulletins. We're crossing over now to the other side of the political divide, the NPP, where Judith, I hope we have a better connection now. Judith has joined us again. Hello, Judith. Good afternoon. I was asking if you can hear me now, and kindly unmute as well. I was asking that beyond the regular accusation of Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19, what were the other highlights of the press conference by the NPP national chairman?
Right, so Martin, this was basically a comparison between the records of the NPP to that of the NDC. And of course, it was in response to some of the allegations made by the NDC and their UPSA conference. And so that when they were talking about the real state of the economy. And so they mentioned GDP growth, for instance, comparing that of the NDC to that of the NPP. And so in 2017 to 2019, they had a GDP growth of more than 7%. But for the NDC, between 2013 to 2016, they had about 3.9%, of course, which they said was low. And so they believe that the NPP is doing much better in terms of the economy. And of course, they are saying that all this happened before, the Russia-Ukraine war, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. So all their records, basically, that tell us that the economy was much better, or they are doing much better in terms of the economy, are before the Russia-Ukraine war, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. They believe that they are better managers of the economy, and they also say that government has not overborrowed. So they are saying that that can be verified by the rate of accumulation. And so for the NDC, they added about over 800% in terms of, the amount of monies they borrowed. For the NPP, however, they added about over 300%. And so for them, they believe that they have done much better in terms of even borrowing as compared to allegations by the NDC, as well as some members of the public as well. And so they say that they will be able to fix the economy. They're waiting on the IMF bailout. But this was basically a response to the NDC's Real State of the Economy conference that was held in UPSA a while ago. They also spoke about the fact that they have listened to or heeded to the calls of the public to reduce some of the members, to reduce costs or expenditure. For instance, they say that they have cut salaries by 30%. That's for the presidents, the vice presidents, some of the ministers and SOEs. They've also seen a 50% cut in fuel coupons for all ministers and then government appointees. And so these are some of the things that they think they have done, and in order to heed the calls for cost reduction and expenditure reduction as well in the economy. So they really believe that they are doing much better when it comes to the economy and what is happening currently in the country.
All right, Judith, thank you so much for that quick update from the NDC presser, which was technically in response to the real state or the true state of the economy address that was read by the NDC about a fortnight ago. So, probably some will say it's politics as usual, but then you, the decider or the voter or the ordinary Ghanaian, as we are referred to most often, will be the final judge of this as we all gear up into 2024. And as your election command center, will try and pick out the most vital components of the economy that we all need to talk about and see how best this leads us into the Ghana that we are hopeful will be the true shining light of the African continent and the globe as well. On to some other stories this afternoon. The Internal Audit Agency has directed public sector workers who are receiving salaries and allowances that they do not deserve to refund them or face prosecution. Director General Dr. Eric Odrosai gave the warning during a meeting with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission in Accra.
The meeting between Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Internal Audit Agency was to discuss payroll monitoring in the public sector. Discussions centered on identifying financial malfeasance and misappropriation by some public sector workers.
The risky areas where we think this payroll and unearned salaries are on the increase. One, you take the educational sector of the Republic of Ghana, you take the health sector of the Republic of Ghana, you take the local government sector. I'm not saying it is widespread in these areas. They are risky areas, And if we don't keep an eye on the payroll of these sectors, it will keep bloating and it will affect us. And the other areas we are looking at is the tertiary institutions. The tertiary institutions, there are people who go on sabbatical and some never returns. Some go on steady leave with pay. After graduation, they fail to return, but have their names on the payroll. Some of them do not even come to work. There are instances where you have people who have been employed in the public sector. They go and their bosses ask them to stay at home because they don't have places to sit. So these people are at home, government is paying them. All those people, once we cite them in our report, we advise the controller and the Ministry of Finance to quickly delete their names from the payroll.
The Chief Executive of the Fares and Salaries Commission, Ben Arthur, held the same view.
Anybody in receipt of any money on earn, maybe after today, we will get you the necessary bank details from controller so that if you want to know where to pay it, we're encouraging you voluntarily to look for the account. We'll give it to you. Go and pay, because after we've given you this period, if you are not going to pay it and we come across you as the one who is in custody inappropriately of the public funds, we will let the appropriate entities take you on that.
Let's go to the Ashanti region now, where the regional minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, has reacted to yesterday's snub at the RCC when aggrieved caterers under the school feeding program stormed there to present a petition. Reimbursements to the caterers have been in arrears for months. Simon Osei-Mensah says he actually disagrees and has been speaking to some reporters.
Thank you very much. Yesterday I was in a meeting when I heard some nice eyesight in my office. So I sent my special assistant to find out. She came back and informed me that caterers on school feeding were there demonstrating. So I came out and then asked them, one, have they ever come to me? And why are they demonstrating before they come to me with their issues? True, they did not even go to the police to inform them that they were going to demonstrate. So when they entered, if the security at the Regional Coordinating Council had reacted and maybe attacked them, what would have been the results? I think this country, we must be truthful to ourselves. We must be truthful to ourselves and stop pampering people. The impunity is too much. I sympathize with them. I would not be happy for the government to owe me for maybe months, when maybe I borrowed and interest is accruing, and maybe I cannot even feed my family. But we should not use illegality to solve problems. We should solve our problems through the legal means. In this country, if you want to demonstrate, you go and inform the police before you embark on demonstration. You don't just get out and start demonstrating. We are not in a lawless country. We are in a country being governed by law. That is why we say we are in a democratic dispensation. So you don't just take the law into your hand and start maybe acting the way you want. No, I don't tolerate those things. Oh, whether I'm angry or I'm not angry, I'm saying I don't tolerate illegality, period. And I will never tolerate illegality.
Okay, so with the guest house that has been
Ashanti Regional Minister there. So our website can give you a background to what exactly he is reacting to when he had, a mild confrontation with some caterers in the Ashanti region. Details on our website. Okay, so let's go on issues of education. Now, the University of Ghana is seeking to remove the judge hearing the substantive case between the university and some students of Commonwealth Hall. Management of the university want this decision taken because Justice Francis Obri supposedly had an affinity with the hall. This was included in a motion certiorari filed by Kwabena Edusei on March 31, 2023, explaining that the judge's relationship with the hall and his conduct of the case so far suggests a real likelihood of bias. According to him, Justice Obri was officially attached to Kwafu Hall as a resident during his undergraduate studies. This notwithstanding, he stayed in Commonwealth Hall throughout his undergraduate studies and was actively involved in vandalism and its ideologies. In a supporting affidavit, the University of Ghana's Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Gordon Awindari, said he is reliably informed that the judge, during his student days, was officially attached to Ekuafo Hall, but was at all material times during his studentship in the University of Ghana resident at Commonwealth Hall. So because he is tagged as an old vandal, they believe he'll be prejudiced or will be biased in the case before him. So they are seeking or filed a certiorari, and definitely we'll update you on how all of this plays out, whether he'll be taking off the case or a new judge brought in to supervise or superintend over that subject matter. Residents of Enum in the Sojaman district of the Eastern region have expressed worry over the level of neglect of the town. The poor road network, lack of pipe-borne water, and other social amenities are hampering development in the predominantly farming community.
From Esikuma Junction all the way to Enum has the Ghana national flag hoisted in remembrance of its designer, Chidosa Salome Okon, who hails from the town. Roads leading to the town and adjoining communities are in a deplorable state. The community lacks pipe-borne water as the only water reservoir is faulty. The residents now depend on this unhygienic stream for their daily choice.
This is the water residents of Enum currently depend on, as their pipe-borne water is not flowing for the past 1 month.
It has been about 10 months now, and they said there is no water around the tank. The tank that they have been filling water from it. It has got spoiled, so we have been fetching water in the well. The surface of the water is not good. We have been drinking it like that.
We don't have water. For the rain last 2 or 3 days, we wouldn't have been comfortable here. The pumping machine is so from Boso up to Siebra, we don't have pipe-borne water. The machine, it breaks down today, they repair it, they bring it. I think they have to give us a better one, a new one, if possible.
With regards to the road that leads to Enum, you realize that this is a very, very important road that leads to many, many communities. You have major market centers along the stretch. You can talk about the Germany market. You can talk about towns like Tosten, Nanyo, Palime, etc. So we believe there should be attention and focus on this road. This road has been in a very deplorable state for a very long time, and this is a very, very important monument that we have here.
So the demand of the people here at Enum is for them to have their roads constructed for them, also for them to get pipe-borne water, and for them they've neglected for too long. All they're calling for is for government to provide them with some social amenities so that they also feel part of this country. Joseph Armstrong, Go Dalibo TV3, Enum, Eastern Region.
This is still Midday Live on TV3. We have business for you right after this. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic.
Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Who will be careful Endpoint one?
Just an amian Casami problems room. It's not my own idea, mammy. Papa patches and any some couture. I'm quite points and I'm shaming Mujam no heavy and also woman do. Mamma do me fine and my own crime, you know, who for one I'm quite ever.
Head everything yourself.
Mamma, I know Jojo at the Hoa won't mean auntie. And then call Endpoint or Mamma Nura and then the white dear what's me a sorry an auntie.
That's Endpoint for you. Hello. Hey, what? Okay. A free bra with the Endpoint what dancing. I'm a choir no. Me Joseph say my name Koye and person my name and then Gina Sabema. Now me be here for the one in Jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. I'm free crime belly.
Open your eyes. People fall and they rise. Make you no worry about the things you know we change. The things you know we do today. You go do them tomorrow.
Wow, this girl's got talent. You too can change your world. And it's affordable with Airtel Tigo data bundles. Bring your dreams to life with the best data bundles only on Airtel Tigo. Dial *111# now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
You are a major stakeholder in nation building. Your voice matters. Start your day with us.
We simplify the conversations, break down the jargons and technicalities. We keep you well informed throughout the week. Start your day with us.
Knowledge is power. We put you in the know of the happenings in Ghana and the world over. The main reason why you need to start your day with us.
We give the leaders the mandate to govern our affairs. We have a responsibility to hold them to account. It begins here. Start your day with us. Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show with me, Johnny Hughes, Helen Apiampofo, William Asiedu,
and Noble Crosbyan.
Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7. Your urban lifestyle radio.
Welcome back to Midday Live on TV3. Time now for business. Menu Afol is with us. Hello, Menu.
Hi, Martin.
All right, so what's happening?
So, you know, the three business economic sustainability summit.
I was actually enjoying the conversation, but we had to break and come and give the news.
Kind courtesy, three business.
Right.
Thank you. So we have details and excerpts from that.
Sure.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's the business segment on Midday Live, and I'm Minu Afo. In our first story, the executive chairman of law firm AB and David says the country needs to rethink to tackle the perennial economic crisis that often requires a bailout from the IMF. Well, David Ofosu-Dorte said intervention programs by successive governments have largely served politicians' parochial interests rather than providing meaningful relief to the people.
We ought to re-examine our mindset. I once actually tweeted something about the fact that where you have state-owned enterprises not doing well in the public sector, hands, and we privatize them, and they equally collapsed. The elite must re-examine their mindset. There's something wrong with our mindset. We actually stopped thinking long ago in this nation. Our attempt to restructure the economy itself has ended up in failure. In fact, there is almost nothing I can point out into this country. Almost no major program that has succeeded. If you have one, just give me an example. When, for example, we have Temawa having a debt, we set up a toll recovery debt. The debt is still there. The energy sector, the debt is still there. Every major program we have implemented to solve a problem has gotten worse. So nothing has been solved. And this is not about this government. I'm talking about from time immemorial. So again, I'm going back to something wrong with our mindset and how we do things.
We'll stay a while on the conversation around Ghana's economic issues because the executive chairman of Cleveland Tove, Senyor Hosi, has urged citizens to be responsible for their socio-economic development by holding politicians to account. Senyor Hosi said the silence of the masses has allowed state actors to get away with almost everything, and that is why the economic challenges keep recurring. And that's how we wrap up the business segment. I am Menu Afo. Stay with us for sports.
We are on a mission promoting access to quality health and education through the power of our media space. Since 2014, we have made great impact. TV3 mission now drives Ghana's quest to break barriers and provide access to inclusive and quality girls' education, together with women's maternal health services. Our mission to address the needs of the socially excluded has won the admiration of many. Indeed, TV3 Mission gets you the results. Mission is live on TV3 News 360 every Saturday and Sunday. Supported by Star Ghana Foundation, with thanks to Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
What's your take on an ideal guy?
I'm attracted to sapiosexuals.
Oh, sapiosexuals. Cool.
The smart guys.
See, I am one.
What's your take for the constitutional review?
See, they are really disturbing. They are worrying. Review. Constitutional review. The call for a constitutional review is not a bad call.
Really?
At all. Especially in the light of the fact that some laws have outlived their usefulness.
It's just gentlemen. I think Afena-Gyan.
Afena-Gyan? Who doesn't know Afena-Gyan? Excellent footballer. Dangerous. Tactical.
There's this show on TV. It's a music show. Mentor.
I like Mentor. See, my family watches Mentor. Everybody. Hey, see, everywhere Mentor.
Where are they show?
Eh?
Where are they show?
Mentor's gonna take you higher.
Don't be clueless. Stay on top of issues with 3news.com and tune in to Media General's radio platforms on the go using 3news.com.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the sports segment here on Midday Live with me, Oreku Ampofo. The 2023 edition of the 3FM Tour du Ghana is approaching and cyclists across the country are getting ready to battle for supremacy. One of those cyclists is Richard Atta, a physically challenged cyclist who completed last year's race and hopes to defy the odds this year. 3 Sports Bilishan caught up with Atta and told his story.
In the constantly advancing world today, amputees have been competing at the highest level and won significant accolades. Earlier this year, amputee football star Marcin Oleksy won the 2022 Pushkas Award with an astonishing scissor kick goal. Richard Atta, a 37-year-old Ghanaian, is also hoping to make an impact despite his challenges. Atta lost his left arm in 2001 following a ghastly accident and has been living in a kiosk at Ofankor for almost a decade. He wasn't always a cyclist. He worked as an auto electrician in the late 90s, but after losing his arm and a job, he was forced to pursue a different career. Atta trains on the dangerous streets of Accra on a daily basis, confidently rubbing shoulders with different vehicles. His rigorous training regime has helped him travel long distances with his trusty bicycle. A notable one was from Accra to Koforidua and back to Accra, a 154.8-kilometer journey.
Okay, if I say Accra to who? And a long bet.
Long journeys, Accra to Ho, was one long journey I took. I go to Koforidua and return. I go to Akosombo and return. But Accra to Ho was a long one. I have done 160 kilometers in journey time before. I've even done 240 kilometers. I did that with the whites.
Atta competed in the 3FM Tour du Ghana competition last year, a 2-day event held for professional and amateur cyclists.
Tour du Ghana and the team bet. A
Nigerian woman helped me to compete at the Tour du Ghana event last year. She asked me if I could do it, and I said yes. She promised to register me, and I thanked her. So she did the registration for me. When we were about to start the event, I woke up early and met her at Etekwashi. She used her car to take me to the starting point.
The Tour du Ghana event returns on the 20th and 21st of May this year. Atta has been meticulously preparing for this event and would hope to enchant viewers and competitors with his experience, tenacity, and a strong right arm.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Ori Kwampofo. If you're after some more sports stories, you can follow us on social media at 3SportsGH. Up next on the bulletin is Entertainment with Noella.
Good afternoon. Let's do some entertainment here on Midday Live. My name is Noella. And a popular Ghanaian comedian, Funny Face, has said life got tough for him after he got back from rehab. The Choko Chotra actor revealed that apart from losing his brother and father, he was robbed of all his belongings upon returning from rehab.
My brother, my brother, you've been through a lot, but listen, this somebody who sacrificed all his career, all his life, years, to have a meltdown publicly.
Yes.
And you know Ghanaians, they won't spare you, they will give it to you. They were insulting me left, right, center. Listen, what this guy is going through, bruv, listen, don't do it. Don't kill yourself. Let me tell you something. I know you are going through pain. You are talking about your brother dying and making your problems worse. Bruv, my brother died at the psychiatric. They told me the news. They gave me the news at the psychiatry. Somebody who was trying to recover and come back to life, they broke that news. That news made me feel I wanted to die. But listen, this is the catch here. Everything that you are going through right now, if you stay focused and stay fast in the Lord, trust me, your end, you look back at this day and you laugh. I'm a living testament. I'm telling you this. Aaron Roberts didn't spare me. I was robbed. Aaron Roberts came to rob me. Rob everything in my room. They left me iron. Yellow iron. Listen. Monday, I only had 1 day to rest. Monday. Tuesday, 6th December, my father died.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody who have come back from psychiatric. Listen, that's why, listen.
Now on to some more stories. Ghanaian female rap goddess Eno Baroni has said that she does not compare herself to anyone in the rap game. The 22nd VGMA Rapper of the Year also spoke about her love for journalism since her childhood while exhibiting her journalistic skills on New Day this morning.
People make assertions that sometimes you probably even are one of the best, if not the best, in terms of the bars. Do you consider yourself better than not just the females but the males as well?
I think I'm not really here to compete with anybody but myself. So I just see myself like I'm better than myself yesterday, but I don't really want to compare myself to anybody.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
I never thought I was ever going to be a musician, even though I loved music in school and everything. Yeah, I wanted to be a journalist. Like,
oh wow!
Yeah, that's
what you wanted to?
Yeah.
You know what got in touch with me? You used to have that in you.
Yeah, I think so. I hosted a program at Adum FM
Please
for like
put,
a year.
okay,
so.
Really?
Okay, so
let's make those.
So introduce
those
this for
readings.
us. Can you? Yeah.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the news on New Day Live from the John Hammond Street at Kanda here in Accra. My name is Enu Barodi.
Come on! We love it.
On that note, we wrap up here on Midday Live. My name is Noella. Up next, international news.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump is appearing in a New York City courthouse. This will be the moment when the criminal charges against him, the first against a U.S. president, will be made public. Trump denies any wrongdoing. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has been investigating a $130,000 payment made by Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen to porn star Stormy Daniels, which was made to keep her quiet over an alleged affair.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for watching. Visit our website, 3news.com. You'll find all the stories we brought to you and several others. Have a good afternoon, and as always, stay positive. Bye for now.